Why do many people have garlic at home every day, but almost never take advantage of everything it has to offer? Why do we use it only to flavor food, when a preparation as simple as letting it steep in vinegar can completely transform it? And if garlic is already known for its natural properties, what happens when we combine it with fresh beets, apple cider vinegar, and aromatic spices? There is a reason why this mixture not only catches the eye with its intense color, but also for the way it can support digestion, the heart, and the immune system. Stay until the end, because in addition to this pickled garlic, we will also see how to prepare homemade pink ginger with beets. If you have garlic at home, don't leave it forgotten in the kitchen as if it were just any ingredient. Often the simplest foods hold the most interesting uses, especially when prepared in a traditional, patient, and natural way. Today we are going to look at a simple but very special recipe: garlic pickled in vinegar with beets. A preparation that is not only beautiful to look at, but can also become a small, healthy habit to accompany your everyday meals. Before we begin, I wish you health, wellness, and peace of mind. This recipe is born from something very simple. My grandmother gave me a bunch of fresh beets with a color so vibrant that it was impossible not to think of preparing something nutritious with them. Seeing that deep red hue, I decided to use them to make homemade pickles full of flavor, color, and natural properties. Beets are not just a pretty ingredient. Their intense color already tells us that they contain valuable compounds. In this preparation, they will be the base that brings the jar to life, gradually dyeing the garlic and turning a simple recipe into something visually striking. But the question is, why combine specifically beets, garlic, and vinegar? What makes these three ingredients work so well together? The answer begins in the way we are going to prepare each element, step by step, unhurriedly, respecting the process and letting time do its work. After washing the beets well, the first thing I do is carefully remove their skin. There is no need to overcomplicate it, just remove the outer layer and expose that firm, bright, and colorful flesh. Then I cut them into small cubes because this will make it easier for their flavor, color, and nutrients to mix with the rest of the preparation. As soon as the knife cuts through the beet, that intense red appears, seemingly dyeing everything. And that is exactly why this ingredient is so special. The beet is not here just to decorate the jar. It is much more than a pretty color. In the original content, it is presented as a true nutritional treasure, useful for helping to cleanse the liver and keeping blood pressure more stable. It also stands out for its richness in antioxidants, those compounds that help the body fight inflammation and protect itself from daily wear and tear. Therefore, when we turn it into a pickle, we are not just preparing a tasty side dish, but a simple way to incorporate something beneficial into our daily diet. Once the beet is ready, I set it aside and move on to the second main ingredient, the garlic. And here comes a very practical trick. Instead of patiently peeling each clove one by one, I first cut off the hard part at the base. Then I place the cloves inside a clean jar, close the lid tightly, and shake it vigorously for a few seconds. In just 10 or 15 seconds, the skins begin to peel off almost on their own. This detail seems small, but it saves time and makes the whole preparation easier in just a few more minutes. Now we have the diced beets on one side, with their deep color, and the clean garlic on the other, ready to absorb the vinegar, the spices, and all the nuances that will come later. Isn't it curious how two such simple ingredients can begin to turn into something completely different? Now that we have the beets diced and the garlic clean, I prepare a completely dry jar. This detail is important because when making homemade pickles, the container must be clean and free of unnecessary moisture. I start by placing a layer of beets at the bottom, then I add a layer of garlic. Next I add beets again, and then garlic, repeating the same order until the jar is evenly filled. At first glance, this way of arranging the ingredients seems to be just a matter of presentation, but in reality it makes a lot of sense. By alternating the layers, the color of the beets can be distributed better, the garlic is surrounded by that intense natural juice, and all the flavors slowly begin to come together. It is not just about making the jar look pretty. It is about allowing the ingredients to mix evenly, so that each garlic clove gradually absorbs the vinegar, the spices, in the deep color of the beets. Next, I prepare the liquid that will bring the whole pickle to life. The vinegar I use is apple cider vinegar, about 1 cup. The original content mentions that, being raw and unfiltered, it is very beneficial for digestion. I pour it into a small pot and add 100 grams of granulated sugar, which is roughly half a cup. Then I add a little black pepper, some coriander seeds, fennel seeds, and 2 bay leaves. These spices are the secret to ensuring the liquid is neither flat nor plain. The pepper adds depth, the coriander leaves a warm fragrance, the fennel adds a mild aromatic touch, and the bay leaf rounds out the background flavor. I stir the mixture slightly and let it heat until the sugar dissolves completely. There is no need to boil it vigorously. Cooking it over low heat is enough. When everything is integrated, I let the liquid cool a bit before pouring it into the jar. I don't want the heat to cook the garlic or the beets. I just want it to cover them slowly, to envelop them, and to begin that silent process that will transform common ingredients into a pickle full of color, aroma, and character. Now all that is left is to leave the jar in a cool, well-ventilated place. There is no need to rush the process. In this type of preparation, time is one of the most important ingredients. The garlic needs to rest, the beets need to release their color, and the vinegar must slowly penetrate each layer. At first, everything seems separate. The beet pieces at the bottom, the garlic cloves between them, the clear liquid covering the jar. But little by little, something begins to change. After 3 days, the result is surprising. The color becomes much more intense, almost as if the beets had painted everything from the inside. The garlic cloves no longer look the way they did at the beginning. They have now absorbed some of that reddish hue and have a completely different appearance. It is at that moment when one understands why this recipe is so appealing, not only for its flavor, but also for the visible transformation that occurs inside the jar. As explained in the original content, pickled garlic can make it easier for the body to better absorb the antioxidants present in it. That is why it is mentioned as an even more interesting option for the immune system in the heart than eating it raw directly. And when that garlic is combined with vinegar and beets, the result becomes a nutrient-rich mixture that is also presented as useful for regulating blood sugar levels and improving digestion. But the best part of this recipe is that it doesn't just stay in theory, it is also very easy to incorporate into your daily meals. You can add a few slices to some noodles in the morning, as mentioned in the original content. It also pairs very well with grilled meats or fried foods because its acidity helps balance heavier flavors. And then a simple question arises. If a jar so easy to prepare can add flavor, color, and such a fresh sensation to your meals, why not always have it ready at home? Now we move on to the next preparation, pickled pink ginger. The original content recommends using young ginger, if possible, although regular ginger can also be used. The reason is simple. Young ginger is usually more tender, less fibrous, and easier to slice thinly. But if you only have regular ginger at home, it works perfectly too, as long as you prepare it carefully. The first thing I do is remove the skin. Instead of using a knife and risking removing too much flesh, I use a spoon to scrape the surface. This method is very practical because it allows you to reach the small corners and curves of the ginger without difficulty. Furthermore, it is safer for your fingers, especially when working with irregular pieces. Little by little, the skin comes off, leaving a clean root, ready to be sliced. Next, I use a sharp knife to cut the ginger into the thinnest slices possible. The thinner the slices, the better they will absorb the pickling liquid, and the more pleasant the texture will be when eating them. You can also use a mandolin if you want more uniform cuts. When all the slices are ready, I transfer them to a bowl, add 2 teaspoons of salt, and mix well. Then I let the ginger rest for 15 to 20 minutes. This step helps draw out excess moisture and slightly mellows its intensity. Meanwhile, I bring a pot of water to a boil. When the water starts boiling, I add the ginger for 2 or 3 minutes and remove it quickly. The goal is not to overcook it, but to soften its strong flavor. Then I let it cool a bit and squeeze it well to remove as much water as possible. To achieve that beautiful pink color, I use beets as a natural coloring. I cut them into thin slices and prepare the liquid with 3/4 of a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of rice vinegar. I bring it to a boil for a few minutes until the sugar dissolves completely. When the liquid is ready and the sugar has completely dissolved, I prepare a sterilized, airtight jar. I start by placing a layer of ginger at the bottom. Then I add a layer of beets. Next, I repeat the same process. Another layer of ginger, another layer of beets, until the jar is almost full. Alternating the ingredients this way helps the color of the beets distribute evenly, gradually dyeing the ginger slices and giving them that characteristic pink hue. Next, I pour the hot mixture of rice vinegar, sugar, and salt directly into the jar. The liquid should completely cover the ginger and beets so that everything is submerged and can absorb the flavor evenly. Then I let it cool completely before sealing the jar. This step is important because it's not a good idea to put a hot jar in the fridge or seal it too soon if it's still releasing a lot of steam. Once cool, I put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for at least a day. But if you can wait a little longer, the result will be even better. In the original content, the ginger was left to soak for 3 days, and after that time, the color was truly beautiful. An intense, bright, and natural pinkish red, achieved without artificial dyes, just with the help of the beets. The most interesting part is that the flavor also changes. The strong, aggressive bite of the ginger mellows out. In its place, a light, fresh, and pleasant tanginess emerges, very similar to the pickled ginger served in Japanese or Korean restaurants. It's a simple accompaniment, but full of character. It can be paired with rice dishes, meats, fried foods, Asian meals, or any recipe where you want to add a tart, clean, and refreshing touch. And ultimately, that's the beauty of making things from scratch at home. With simple ingredients like garlic, beets, vinegar, and ginger, we can create foods full of color, flavor, and tradition. If you found this recipe helpful, don't forget to show your support and subscribe to discover more natural health and home cooking tips. I wish you health, wellness, and plenty of peace. See you in the next video.